A city's transit system is often intrinsically tied to its identity and past. The design, colors, shapes, and materials force us to look back and reflect on the architecture, style, and decisions of previous generations. Subway stations can be one of the most interesting elements of any city, and today, I'm continuing my journey to visit all 70 of Toronto's subway stations. In the 1950s, when the first stations were built in Toronto, they were designed to be utilitarian and efficient. By the 1970s, the stations were visibly lacking the beautiful architecture and design of other subway networks, like Montreal's, for instance. The TTC sought to correct this oversight by hiring acclaimed architects and artists to help build many of the new stations, a trend that continues today. Lawrence West Station was one of several stations built in the 1970s that benefited from this new approach to station construction. It's part of a Line 1 extension that opened in 1978. The station platform sits in the median of Allen Road. This stretch of Allen Road is built in what's called a trench. The reason for this is because originally this was part of the planned Spadina Expressway, which ultimately was cancelled in the 1970s. Because of this, the station entrances and concourses could be built directly above the tracks, bringing riders closer to the platforms. The firm Dunlop Farrow Atkin was responsible for this particular station, and they brought a modernist approach to the design. Long straight lines and imposing concrete forms ground the structure, while thin steel framing and glass above bring in lots of natural light and an airy feel. The concrete base makes the space feel solid and tough, but the glass walls and ceilings lift some of that heaviness and create a connection to the city outside. Like Yorkdale, which we saw in the last video, Glencairn also features a long platform with a semicircular skylight running the length of the platform. This feels a little more closed in than Yorkdale, but Glencairn features funky stained glass which adds a moment of playfulness. But most riders are just looking down at their phones. I wonder how many people even notice the details in these stations. Designed by Adamson Associates, Glencairn Station has a brutalist exterior, but the soft orange glow and red bricks inside help to soften its appearance. The station has entrances at Glencairn Avenue to the north and Viewmount Avenue to the south. This station is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood, and I'd imagine it's not one of the busier stations in the city. Nevertheless, it's an interesting station to explore. I appreciate the 1970s modern style, which today still works and feels modern, but with a retro appeal. Today, this station is known as Cedarvale, but prior to its recent opening, it was known as Eglinton West. The station is now an interchange station and features several new entrances to accommodate the opening of Toronto's newest transit line, the Eglinton LRT, which runs east-west. The new sections of the station feel a little sterile, especially when compared to the original station, which was built in the 70s. Like some of the stations we visited before, Cedarvale is clad in brick and concrete with glass and steel opening the space to the outside. In fact, we've seen this architect's work before, and he's included some of his signature design details at this station too. Arthur Erickson's best-known subway station in Toronto is Yorkdale Station, and you can see his design fingerprint here at Cedarvale also. The domed glass ceiling inside the concourse level is classic Erickson. The original station features locally famous artwork called Summertime Streetcar by Gerald Zeldin. The mural features PCC streetcars which ran on Toronto streets from the 1930s until 1995. In the new section of the station, artwork by Douglas Copeland adorns a wall near the turnstiles. It's called Super Signals, and it's an interpretation of traditional wayfinding graphics. A notable area nearby is Little Jamaica. If you travel west from Cedarvale Station along Eglinton Avenue, you'll reach one of the largest Jamaican communities outside of Jamaica. Since the 1950s, immigrants from Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean have settled in this area. Along Eglinton, you'll find lots of Jamaican, Caribbean, and West Indian establishments. But the number of Caribbean businesses continues to shrink year after year, as gentrification, COVID, and the long construction of the Eglinton LRT has impacted the community. The neighborhood has a rich and culturally important history in Toronto, and today, Little Jamaica has heritage designations, hopefully helping to ensure the culture and history of this vibrant area is preserved. Unlike most of the previous stations, this one was designed by TTC's in-house architects. TTC retained the design responsibility for stations that required a lot of complicated design work. This particular station is an intermodal station, meaning it connects subway riders to other forms of transit within the station. In this case, the subway network connects riders to the streetcars at surface level, but this station features a unique way to transfer those riders from one mode of transit to another. St. Clair West Station features TTC's first underground streetcar loop. I don't think it's unfair to say that the station has not aged that well. While the planning and design of moving people still works well, the aesthetic feels dated. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. It's kind of ugly beautiful and a great reminder of the past. Take for instance these barren dirt gardens. I'm almost certain that these were in better shape in the early days of the station, but today they're a forgotten detail, overlooked by TTC. The station was designed by architect Herta Freyberg and her team at TTC. Freyberg is a renowned architect who spent 30 years with the TTC. Her design was state-of-the-art at the time of its construction. Dupont is arguably the best station in Toronto. It was designed by Dunlop Farrell Architects, and just as a reminder, this too opened in 1978 along with the other stations that we've seen so far. But this one is so different, strange, and beautiful that it would be forgivable to assume it was built in some other era or dimension of reality. The domed glass entranceways are a bold statement, especially during the cold grey months in Toronto. However, I find that they reveal very little about the experience below ground. The curved walls, the thousands of tiny orange tiles, the built-in rounded concrete benches, the psychedelic mosaics, the round porthole lights. It's an experience and a joy to walk through. I don't know if anyone else has made this connection, but I can't help but feel like the Beatles' Yellow Submarine was the inspiration for this station's aesthetic. James Sutherland's Spadina Summer Under All Seasons is a spectacular installation and the centerpiece of this avant-garde station. Dupont's entrances are right at the north border of Toronto's Annex neighbourhood. And to the north is the Casa Loma neighbourhood. A 5-minute walk north is the Baldwin Steps. At the top, you'll find the historic estate of Casa Loma, for which the neighbourhood is named. Just next door to Casa Loma is the Spadina Museum. Spadina Station, like the others we've seen in this video, was opened in 1978. However, the east-west subway line station had already been in operation since the 1960s. Originally, the new Line 1 station was planned as a separate station, but at some point they decided to join them. To do this, they built a really long tunnel. I found my brain wandering off while researching the minutiae of Spadina's construction and history, so I won't bore you with the details, but it's important to note that there were a lot of city plans, resident pushback, and so on. This resident pushback is what's responsible for maybe the most interesting subway entrance in the city. This house was built in 1899, and the city had planned to tear it down to build a new subway entrance, until residents pushed back to preserve the historic house. Spadina Station is not only an interchange station, but also an intermodal station. From here, riders can hop off the subway and head south on the Spadina streetcar line. For instance, this is helpful if you're heading to Chinatown, Kensington Market, or Queen West, for example. You might think you can just stay on the subway and continue heading south, but Line 1 takes a little jog to the east and then follows University South to Union Station. If you exit the station here at Spadina, to the west you'll find Koreatown. And that's where my journey ends for today. In the next episode of this series, we'll continue south into the heart of downtown and explore one of the oldest sections of Line 1 and the neighborhoods that it serves. I'm Mark. I make travel videos about interesting places and experiences, towns, neighborhoods, cities, even subway systems. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. See you.